Hey guys, this is Brian Haddix from The Vintage Type, and I just had an email a little bit ago from Dan and Oscar, and they are working on a Oliver 9 that they just bought, and they're having trouble with the escapement. And they were saying the draw cord is hooked up, it has tension on the spring, and the carriage will move back and forth when it's kind of disengaged from the star wheel, the escapement mechanism. So I think it is the escapement in here. So for anybody who's having trouble with the carriage advancing, I think this might be of help. So what I'll do is I'll take these keys off this top row, the left key, the right key, and the tab key, and take this plate off, and we'll get into it, and I'll do some close-ups, and hopefully this is a helpful video. All right, everybody's probably seen this, but under these keys on 5 and up, there will be a small screw, and I use a long screwdriver to get to them. It usually helps when you're on the queue and going all the way across. You can get into that, and it keeps it pretty level. So I use a long screwdriver. You can use whatever works, and then just go at it. So it'll take a minute, but it goes pretty quick. You don't always, that one's kind of tight, have to take all this row of keys off, but it is helpful to get to what you need to without, I've noticed if you don't take these keys off, sometimes this plate back here will scratch the towers. So that's nice to have a little bit more room by taking the keys off. And a magnetic screwdriver helps as well. Sometimes I'll take these machines that are kind of like this and get them working and donate them to a school or something, if I know somebody's going to be around to take care of it and not just let the kids go wild with it, because they do break. They're pretty tough, but they can break. And this one's giving me some trouble. So, let's see what we can do here. If you get a chance, I know they're hard to come by, but a Lazy Susan, but the kind that the repair guys have, it's pretty cool. I was able to get one of these. My friend, actually, he found it on eBay and sold it to me for what he had in it. So that's when you know you have good friends. Okay. All right, I'll leave that one on. I should be able to get around it. This comes off. I think somebody's been into this machine quite a few times before, because there should be a little rubber pad there, or felt pad, that keeps the plate from moving back and forth, and I think that's long gone. So, all right, now we're into it. If you can shift the carriage back, or the everything back to capitals, and lock it, it gives you a little bit more room. These two bars move back, and then push this down and lift up, and it makes it a little easier to get everything off of there. And that key is going to give me a little trouble, but you can see what I mean about the that plate hitting back here. You probably can't see it, but there's already some scuffs. And there should be a little red piece of felt right there. This one's smashed down. There should be another one on top of that, and this one's completely missing. So, all right. The part we need to see is right in here. I'll change the camera around. We'll take a look at that. Okay, I've got a headlamp on for light, and I've got the camera on a stand, so hopefully I don't knock the camera, and I get the light in the right spot so you can see. Right here, I'll use that long screwdriver. So right here is the point we're talking about. And this is the escapement. And as the, let's see, as the ribbon vibrator goes up and down, you can see that there's a little flap down there. And when it's adjusted properly, get my hand out of the way here. When it's adjusted properly, it works. Sorry, trying to get it in frame here. And then it will do that. So a lot of times it'll only go up partway because the whole ribbon vibrator, the ribbon vibrator setup is out of adjustment. So you want to adjust it so it just, that little flapper just clears that cog and advances. Okay, so I've adjusted it underneath, and I'll show you that adjustment here in just a second. So it does not work properly. So this is probably a dramatization. Yours works a lot better than this, I'm sure. But see how it doesn't go all the way forward? But if you force it, it does. So by doing this, and I put pressure on the star wheel, the escapement won't advance because the flapper's not quite adjusted right. And let me put that. All right, I have the typewriter turned over, and this is the 1/4 inch nut that adjusts the ribbon vibrator and the escapement. If that's not adjusted properly, it'll mess with you. So what we're going to do is, you can probably see the witness mark. The metal's a little shinier up top. So I'm going to put this back into adjustment to make the ribbon vibrator work again. And this is really finicky, so sometimes you'll have to move it up just towards the top of the machine just a little bit more, and just a little bit more, and then tighten this and flip it over each time and see how your travel is on the escapement. So it's really trial and error. Sometimes it can be difficult and take quite a bit of time, but you'll get there. The other thing I wanted to point out is sometimes the adjustment for the spacebar, which is right there actually, sometimes this is a little bit too tight. Maybe somebody didn't know quite what they were turning and turned this too tight. If it is too tight, it will affect this whole ribbon vibrator setup. So I would suggest, if you just can't get this to work quite right, no matter how much you adjust it, loosen this up just a little bit, and that might solve your problem. I've tightened the spacebar up too much, and this is what it looks like. So there's your amount of travel. And let me see if I can turn it over and adjust this back. It's like a turn and a half or so, and that's back to where it should be. So that's what I mean by if that space bar is too tight, it won't work properly. So if you push a key down and then you push the space bar down, and it does something like this. So the key is like that, and then you push the space bar down, it moves forward. Then one of these two is not adjusted properly. So this is the nut for, so when you push down the key, it's the nut for the ribbon vibrator. When you push down the space bar, then it's the nut for the space bar adjustment, which I showed you guys earlier. So between the two of those, it's what you want is this. So you push down the key and you push down the space bar, and that ribbon vibrator is solid. It doesn't move. So that's the kind of adjustment you want. And the reason that happened is I have the carriage off, so it skipped a tooth there. So you know, that might be, I might not have adjusted that all the way. So that's actually a good indicator right there. So that space bar could be adjusted just a little more. You can see how that ribbon vibrator moves just a touch. This little guy is really solid as far as mechanically. I think I will fix it up and donate it to a school or something. I might re-nickel these and make it look a little better. And let's go ahead and take a look at how this works again. Okay, so you can see it is escaping. All right, guys, that's about all I can think of as far as adjusting the escapement. Dan and Oscar, if that doesn't solve your problem, send me another email. I'll do what I can to help you on it. And so that's about it. I hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching.